What's up, guys? Today we got this tire that we checked last week. No leaks, but there was a leak in the sensor itself. See that? Bubbles are coming out. Very slow leak. And customer is fed up with it. So there's a few different ways you can fix this. One is to replace the sensor. So here's the sensor, and you do need to program it. It does have an ID there. This is a programmable sensor, but the problem here is the corrosion on the rim and this seal right there. But the problem of doing that is that these usually won't come off so easy. Plus they have battery life. There's a battery in here, so once that battery dies out, you end up changing a sensor anyway. So once you have this apart, what I like to do is I like to just change it. But there you have it. That's what we're looking at. So I'm gonna take this over. I'm gonna take off this tire, and we're gonna change it out and program the sensor. So we got the wheel off. Let's put that to the side. Sometimes it will leak in here too. That's a core bad. This little guy I'm about to take off is called the core, valve core. Once all your air is out, we're gonna line it with the machine here. Usually I do not try to bring this fork right next to here because you'll damage the sensor, but we really don't care about the sensor at this moment. All we need is an ID of the sensor. Even that can be bypassed by looking at ID inside the ECU. Okay, so I am low on air pressure. Let me go put my air compressor on. Let's give it another try. That's all we need. The sensor's right there. Let's put this on here. What we're gonna do next is, this is number 11 millimeter deep socket. Sometimes these won't come off. Then you gotta cut them out. What I do is I use a file, a cutter, and then chisel them out. So this one came out pretty easy, and they do sell a kit. Okay, once that's out, you're gonna just wiggle this guy down. Push it down. See the problem? This is the problem. This is gonna cause it to leak. Okay, this is gonna cause it to leak, and we're gonna replace it with a new one. But before that, clean this area out. There's also a seal here, because you do have new ones on the new sensor, so all this got to come off. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean the board here with a rag, screwdriver, make it real nice. Okay, so I've been at this the hole here for a good 20 minutes, trying to scrape off all the dirt, debris off of that. And I got it to be clean perfectly, and it looks really, really good. The bottom inside doesn't get that corroded. It just, all this salt gets in here and then it starts to leak. Like I said, they do sell kits just to put new seals on, but over time the battery will die on this little guy, so it's gotta go. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna program the sensor. So the sensor has an ID here. There's an ID here. If we can't find the ID, we're gonna scan it. I believe the ID is 62U003. What we're gonna do is, let me get my scan tool. So we're gonna find the ID on this little guy. But let's move over away from the other vehicles. So let's select the vehicle. We have Mercury. Mercury. Mountaineer. This is a 2004, so it lies between 2002 to 2005. We're gonna scan a sensor. Let's scan a sensor. Hey, give me an ID immediately. So is that the ID? 1, 2, 3, 6. I don't see any numbers like that on this little guy. Yeah, so that is the ID. That's a weird ID. 1, 2. That is one heck of a weird ID. I'm gonna go outside. Maybe it's picking up something else. Let's see what it is. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this little guy. Let's remove all this. Let's put it here safely. And let's take off these two little guys. Keep them in order. And what we're gonna do is put that there. I'm gonna get the sensor in there. Make sure the bead is clean, nice and clean. Everything is nice and clean. So slowly, just be careful with your hands. Let's get this little guy in there. Let's put the washers in order, like they're supposed to be, plastic and then metal on top. And then let's get this guy to catch some threads for us. So that way the sensor just doesn't fall in there. Made a big mistake, should have had taken off this little guy off the ratchet. And once you catch a few threads, you can simply just, now the sensor is not going to drop, but you still need to hold that sensor. So what we're going to do is, so make sure you do not destroy this little guy. So tighten it to your best ability, torque it, and test it before you put it back on the vehicle. But I want to tell you one thing. If you got the other sensor sitting right there like we have, and you put this sensor on, the car is going to try to pick up. It's going to get confused. So make sure you get rid of that sensor or put it somewhere far before you throw it out. And that's it. So what we're going to do is, let me pick up some of this stuff. Let's put air into this. Be careful with your hands. Whoa. This is not locked down. Always want to lock down the wheel. Be careful with your fingers. I got too much stuff around this machine. Gotta get rid of half of this stuff. Okay, caught the bead. I did have to take out the core. I took out the core so the pressure can go in there faster. .35 psi. Tighten the core. Double check your pressure. Okay, now what are we gonna do is we're gonna take this spray and just monitor. Just give it a good 10-15 minutes. There should be no bubbling around here. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And that's how you're gonna fix a leak if you want to replace the sensor or the seal. The seal is very simple. The seal is very simple. It just comes off. You slide on a new one. Make sure the sensor is clean itself also.